Another weekend draft here on Splash Play, and you know what that means. It's time to hop into the world of drafters, where we're putting in $15 entries to win $500K to first, full point PPR drafts. So if you are playing in your home league, maybe some similarities there. No pods, no playoff pods at all. You're competing for total points across 17 weeks. And I, ever brilliant, forgot to actually share the screen. But of course, I am already in a draft room here. You can see that we have filled, thankfully. Got 6 out of 12 people are ready to draft, and I am ready to draft here. And of course, I'm ready to draft, powered by a Juicy Monkey Hazy Imperial IPA. We do some beer opening ASMR here on this show. There we go. Gotta say, I get people liking the coffee pour. I feel like a beer popping is like a nice ASMR sound. My voice overall, I don't think is. I'll admit that. But I think I would say in general, though, it's pretty nice ASMR. I also forgot to put up my tweet for this video, so we're doing well. But preseason's afoot. If you missed yesterday's stream, you got to miss me live here, getting to see Jaden run for a touchdown, throw for a 42-yard bomb to Diami Brown. The bad side of that was that Luke McCaffrey not playing with the starters. So I'll have more about all the preseason camp stuff tomorrow, snap counts and all that, but I'm sure we will talk about some of them because I've already looked it all up. But didn't put it together in a news document. Of course, only do that Monday to Friday here on the channel. Beer pop, there we go. We did Sunday Drafters last week. This might be the last Sunday Drafters. I have to figure out if I could do one during a happy hour time. So there we go. And Quasi not endearing himself right away. This is not... I don't know you, and I saw you say you're in the room, and I hope you'll be a gentleman. Boy. But we will see what we get picking in the 12 hole. I am right next to Quasi. So Quasi with the 73 drafts. Got to assume he knows a way around a Drafters room. And a cute dog avatar. I hope that's his dog. We might get a golden next for our next generation of dogs. I, an idiot, also pulled up some weeds before this stream, though not quite as much as yesterday. In fact, my weed pulling got the wife. The wife is hoeing. She's always been hoeing even before I met her. But she's hoeing now actual weeds. So she's been hoeing one of the weed areas that we have up front that I've mentioned on stream, the bane of my existence. And I was hanging out with the kid and pulled some weeds on the side part of our backyard that nobody goes in. Saw it was an interconnected vine. So I had to pull out this really fucking deep root. It was not a good time. Again, house maintenance, not a joy, but it does make you feel like you've earned an IPA at 11:05 a.m. on the East Coast. Hopefully this is a smash draft. I hope so. I did one BBM, I have to say. I don't often draft BBMs off stream right now because I'm trying to mostly stay enjoying the process of doing it on stream every day. Did do one last night, though, and my boy Jaden Daniels up to the 80s in that draft, so I'm curious to see. I think he went in the 80s yesterday as well in our drafters drafts. That's a moving target for sure, but I do think for Jaden, he's finally going to get the rise he's long due because there are no negative reviews. Now we did yesterday. And the fun thing that I learned, which I did drop in the VIP Discord, of course, if you are a paying member here on the channel, you get that join button down below for $4.99. You get a VIP Discord, lots of chat going on in there, including me finding out yesterday. He audibled. So that 40-yard bomb that he threw to Diami Brown. So apparently didn't even have Dan Quinn's permission to do it, and he still did it, which fucking, that's what we want to see. We want our boy to know better than his veteran coach who's been to Super Bowls. So feeling good. Daniels to the moon. That is a dream. Me and T-Was here in agreement. Instead of a beer pour or a coffee pour, here we get a bong bubble. I don't hit the bong too often. I'm purely a vaporizer boy. Me and my volcano, like now the 4th volcano I've bought. All right, well, Puka and Marvin Harrison, even on drafters, doesn't feel bad. Debo, a guy who's coming up here, would like to get more exposure, but more concerned about that in BBM than I am on drafters. I think the 1 week ceiling is really the big determining factor there. I'll go Puka and Marvin Harrison. I'm not going to look. You tempt me with the stack here that I get once in a blue moon, literally quite like once in a blue moon, 1 out of 96 drafts in BBM, maybe 97. I forget where I'm at right now. Have I gotten Marvin Harrison to Puka Nacua? But here on drafters, I've got 2 shares out of almost 20. So hey, the rate's working pretty well. Sinnott, yes, it's Sinnott too. Sinnott, 44-yard catch and run. Caught a couple other balls besides that as well. Usage is good. Still think the Ertz thing is going to keep his ADP where it was. He went in 200 in the BBM I did last night. So at least that one room was not affected, though. That room is also not a sharp room by any stretch. There's a lot of value going around in general there. But yeah, I feel like that was one. The Wicks bomb yesterday, yeah, makes you might be nice for you guys who are bag holders there. Still think he's blocked. Like I still feel the same way about Wicks, but it's the same thing as it is. Well, it's not the same thing as it is for Ben Sinnott. Ben Sinnott's blocked by a guy who's very old, Wicks is blocked by guys who are similarly young and have higher draft capital than him. So it's not the same thing. But hey, Wicks having one big play on like 10 snaps or whatever, it's not bad. But he did have the least snaps again out of the core group. I still think the Wicks bet to me shouldn't be affected by that, but his talent is not in question. He was efficient last year in terms of the EPA metrics. Wicks is good. He's just priced for a situation that is not his situation, where he's clearly wide receiver 4 still. But I get it. Family has an emergency. Hold on. I'm in the middle of a draft. LOL. Well, hey, you have a right. I do have a code for drafters. CWAS. Go use promo code SPLASH at drafters. You get a $100 deposit match with that one. You also get all the perks that come along with drafting in the Drafters Million. You get free entries basically at a lot of different things. You put in 10 entries, you get a free one. 25, you get a free one. If you put in 100 entries, they give you up to 7 free ones. And if you max it out, they give you $100 back. So pretty good deal on drafters. You also have some other bonuses coming up where consecutive days you get free entries. So lots of ways to get free entries there. But shout out CWAS. And yes, please use that promo code SPLASH at drafters.com. I'll answer your question too. Trading Love and Jefferson for Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison, and eating. I don't know. I don't know what the eating stupid part means. The trade's a little aggressive. I think you're in a good position with Love and Jefferson. I love Jaden, obviously, but I wouldn't do that trade. I love Jaden, still probably wouldn't do that trade. You are pretty good with the guys you have. It's not an unfair trade, though. Not an unfair trade. And thank you for signing up. I appreciate it. Signing up supports the show and also supports you getting the deposit match. So good for both of us, and I appreciate you for it. And shout out all the guys who have signed up, actually. I did a couple signups. I think at least one sign up came through, so I'll give a shout out here. I think it was Kev Dog here is the one who signed up yesterday. So shout out Kev Dog for signing up between our draft yesterday and today. Appreciate that a bunch. Drafters, hey. Great site to play on, especially if you're looking for a break from Underdog. If you're one of those people suffering from the draft fatigue that our pal Pete Overs that talked in his email this week, people talk about battling that. Pete's solution, same as mine, has been drafting less in general, drafting on stream more when you are doing your drafts. I think finding joy in drafts is important. And I do think on drafters, knowing you're going to have better EV, knowing you have a decent shot at overlay as well, given this tournament is still only 1/3 filled with about 4 weeks to go, 3.5-ish, whatever. So, hey, keep all that in mind when you're playing on drafters. Recreational weed legal in Ohio recently, celebrating with a gummy and a few drafts. Hey, there you go. OG Manson. Ohio doing some stuff. Ohio is also not a state that egregiously taxes its stuff either, right? I don't think. At least for gambling, I know they don't. And I did get Puka and Marv again to the format where it matters. It's a cruel way to say it, No Cap Mac. But your name is No Cap Mac, and that was no cap. You did, in fact, keep it cap free. So you get these next picks. Other guys whose stock is up. Actually, one guy whose stock is down that I have to talk about. Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd, hamstring injury. It's not great. I'm not going to tell you it's like good news that he's hurt. That said, he's proven enough. Even in that game yesterday, took a play that should have been for a loss for an 8-yard gain. I feel still pretty good about Marshawn Lloyd. That said, his ADP is now probably going to creep into the 150s, 160s. People are worried about A.J. Dillon. There are some people out there who don't understand draft capital. Think that Emmanuel Wilson could be a thing. It's mostly just going to be Josh Jacobs dominating that backfield, A.J. Dillon getting some work. Lloyd, to me, still will come on when you need him the most. But, for a drafters format, got to make sure you have some front-loaded guys. All right, we're on the clock here. We got our Puka MHJ start. I feel pretty good about Pacheco. Not a bad showing by ATN yesterday, but Tank Bigsby looking really efficient per rush, I think is a scary thing for him. So I just want to point that out. Of course, I am low on the ATN bags, but I think that's correct. Pacheco, though, no issue there. Zay Flowers, always take him at the turn. Josh Allen wouldn't feel bad either. I'll go Zay. This is so tough. I really wish that it didn't have to be an egregious reach to take Trey McBride at the spot. Like, I like Trey McBride a lot. There's very little chance he comes back to me at 60. But in general here, I think Trey McBride is a great pick, but he's not a great pick if you're passing Sam Laporta up. There's really nobody else, I guess, ahead of him. But even still, Andrews, Kincaid, that feels like a correct tier for McBride to be with those guys. I feel like the tight end tier overall should just be a lot flatter. All the tight ends should just go in round 4 together. That'd make me feel better about it. But we don't reach for Trey McBride. Instead, we do take Zay Flowers, guy who I just take in all the 12 spots I get, especially if you get him with Tank Dell. Very happy with that combo for week 17 on Underdog. And on Drafters is a little bit of a tiebreaker. We got Pacheco, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, and we'll see. We might have to do the Kyler reach coming up next, which is the tough part too. If I take a McBride there, I pretty much have to reach for Kyler at that next pick, and it's a bit of an uncomfortable spot to be. Jacobs at 39. It's a lot of confidence in Marshawn Lloyd being hurt. I don't think it should be. But I get it. Ohio, 7% tax for medical, 17% for adult use. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad. California, I know, is like 25%. Here in Pennsylvania, we don't have pure recreational. We just have the medicinal card that the wife gets for me because I'm not a Pennsylvania resident because I just don't want to be. I want to keep my New York license so I don't have to anymore. So my New York license, by the way, is the most ridiculous farce. I would show it to you guys on camera if I could like block it out easily. It's me when I was 16 because they don't make you update your photo in New York. And the times I've gone into update, like before I had facial hair, especially, they're like, you look the same. So I just use the same photo. So I am now turning 40 this year, and I have a driver's license from New York, a state that I haven't lived in since 2017. And it's a photo of me when I'm 16. So we're doing well. The good news is that people still don't they know it's me if I have to give them ID anywhere, though I don't usually have to give ID these days. I think that's it. Like at 16 at 40. If I didn't have facial hair, I would still look younger. Obviously, my face is certainly fatter than it was when I was 16 now. My wife does hoe the weed, and she hoes for weed. She does it all. But that's the give and take when you force somebody to move to a state they don't have any attachment to and don't want to be in. I think is sort of the counterbalance. Jalen Hurts at 53 for our guy Dylan Kitten here. Really nice pick for him. Didn't mean to click anything, but that's sick. You're getting Hurts after Mahomes. What a deal. Deal of a lifetime for Dylan. This is an interesting room. Let's see what these guys do. If somebody were smart, they would take Mark Andrews, I think, and see it. Nope, he did it the wrong way. Go Vikes. Got to do it the opposite way, where you still get an elite tight end no matter what, and you get the stack. If Lamar had come back to me, I would consider doing it. Now, not so appealing. Not so appealing. You say women in a dogfight for the gold right now. B-ball that is. Yeah, that's what the wife is doing social on right now. Talk about Alex Day. But yeah, she's been fucking. This is her last day, thankfully, because obviously the Olympics are wrapping up today. But she's been working at an agency that does social for the Olympics, the NBC side, and it has been rough sledding here. One big news item yesterday: Hollywood Brown with the injury, not great for him. Don't think getting him at 60 is the move right now. He should be back week 1, so he shouldn't have that big of a fall, but he is going to have one. Mixon is okay. I think another receiver here feels best. I'm going to get Deontay for one of the picks. And I want to get more Pitts everywhere. We've got our hero RB. Worthy should come up a little bit because of Hollywood going down, even though he shouldn't go down too far with the injury, likely a 1-month injury. But I'm going to go elite tight end, go Kyle Pitts. So the team so far, we got Isaiah Pacheco, we got Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, and Kyle Pitts. So did Deontay get banged up yesterday too? I feel like I might have seen on Twitter. Or is that something else? I might be mistaking that with something else. I didn't put my fucking tweet out either. Boy, I am off my game today. Here, let me fix the tweet. All right. Should I show you guys how I write a tweet on stream? I just got to remember because I think this is contractually something I have to do for drafters. We've read the team a lot. Chris Spags drafts a 6 squad on at Drafters Fantasy. Wait, something else. Live right now. There we go. That'll do it. All right. Copy, paste the link. There we go. All right. What a great tweet. They're getting their money's worth from my promotion with sick tweets like that. The final tweet here, full point PPR, no pods, and 500K to first place. Multiple question marks. At Chris Spags drafts a 6 squad on Drafters Fantasy live right now. There we go. We did it, guys. We're promoting. Shout out Tyler here. Tyler coming up on, I think actually coming up with Bindles on Fantasy Sanctuary in a little bit, doing the best ball brunch. So as soon as this stream ends, go check out Tyler's stream. Always appreciate him here and his grind, his content and grind, not dissimilar from mine. There we go. Our guy DT. I thought you said you were signing up, but I wasn't sure because it was a different name. But shout out DTs. DT's a very nice guy. Joined the channel yesterday as well. Shout out to him. Welcome to the family, DTs. I'd appreciate that a bunch. Some kind words. Building a great community here. You guys really. And if you are new, sign up here. If you join the channel, make sure to link your YouTube channel to your Discord. Just go to your Discord settings and make it very easy to do that. I have some description on it as well in the YouTube description, but check it out. If you're not in the Discord yet, please come join. Been a lot of fun hanging out there. It's been nice for me to have a place where, like, I don't like tweeting that much anymore. I'll tweet occasionally, like very occasionally. And I'll tweet for promotional stuff. But having a Discord where I can just come in and go like, hey, here's this football take that I don't want to like workshop to try to get engagement, I think has been nice for me to have. So that's what you're getting in the Squirt Squad VIP. Bucky Irving looked nice yesterday. Great call by Spags. Thank you, chicken cheesesteak lover. Yeah, Bucky was one guy, did benefit, scored a touchdown. I think he's Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, he looks like Jahmyr Gibbs. He plays like Jahmyr Gibbs. Analytically, very similar to Jahmyr Gibbs in terms of the avoided tackle rate stuff, both in the pass game and the run game. He's a little small, even smaller than Gibbs as the downside for Bucky. But yeah, that one I felt good. That was the biggest downer for me about Marshawn Lloyd was like, everything else looks okay. Even McCaffrey, like, it sucks that they've moved it around now. Dotson for Washington got moved to the slot. They had Diami Brown and Olamide Zaccheaus playing outside. I think long-term, McCaffrey gets on the field, I would guess out wide. But that one sucked for me because McCaffrey, I had concerns about Luke McCaffrey, of course, not Christian. Luke McCaffrey I had concerns with how he played at Rice, where if you're at Rice and you're a McCaffrey, you should be busting asses. He did not bust asses. He did not bust in asses. He did not do any of it. So, like, that's the part that worried me about him. And then him being now with the second team, even though he's running with the starters in the slot for a while, that worries me. The slot role in that offense is very valuable. In the past, Cliff Kingsbury slot guys have had most productive years out of receivers. So, want to get that right. I'm okay either side of it. But with my McCaffrey bet being so huge, that spooked me a little bit. But that and the Marshawn Lloyd, I think, were the two things yesterday I thought were not great for me. Everything else I felt pretty good about. I think all the takes that I've had have materialized nicely on the field. The Jaden one, though, really, that was a moment on stream. Very glad. Shout out to our guy, Adam, who tipped me off that game was going on live because it was a lot of fun yesterday on stream if you missed it. All right. We got picks coming up here. Obviously, Kyler did not come back. Not shocked about that one. He went at 63. Jesus. This pick, another receiver would be nice. A little bit of a value on Zamir White, who I'm okay with. Zamir White will be one of the picks here. Curtis Samuel maybe coming down for people who saw Keon Coleman running ahead of him. Don't think that should matter too much. They know what they have in Curtis Samuel. That's a part of the reason why sometimes guys don't play that much in a preseason game at the very least. I like Curtis Samuel. If I didn't have a tight end, I'd go Jake Ferguson, but we're okay. We got Pacheco, Zamir White, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, and Curtis Samuel here, along with Kyle Pitts as our tight end. So nothing too matchy correlation-wise yet, but really didn't feel like there was anything I had to do correlation-wise there. Guess I could have taken Najee Harris for the oppo side of Pacheco in week 17 if I wanted, but Zamir White, I don't know. Zamir White is ranked lower than Najee on underdog, which I would say is sharper ADPs. So actually surprised Zamir White is higher on this site. Whatever. Najee would have been a good click as well. Spags and our guy Kendrick, the most positive man in the community, and I appreciate him for it. I feel like Tim and our guy Matthew are the top two for me. Spags is hitting with the #1 best ball content. I appreciate that, and the flame emojis as well. All the Jags players falling to our guy Diego in the 6 hole. Shout out to him. Hope it cleans up nicely. Awesome community. There's Matthew. Always positive. Appreciate him. It's fun. It's been fun, man. I've enjoyed, honestly, like, obviously doing 7 days a week of Draftster, which I'm now doing on the channel and might keep doing. I feel like you guys have enjoyed the Sunday one so far. I think Sunday works well for me. So like I might keep it going with just Sunday mornings and Saturday mornings for Drafters here. But it's been nice, honestly. Like adding another day of work is like never ideal, I think. But doing 7 days a week of drafts have not taken the toll on me yet. Maybe if I've been doing it since January, like I have for the 5 days a week, it would hit me more. But it's been nice. Like shout out to you guys on the weekend. I feel like the weekend crew in particular, like it's all positive vibes. All guys just doing lawn work. Guys going through the same things I'm going through. Nice to see you guys here. So hey, cheers to all you guys. feel like yesterday confirmed Chase Brown is still not good at tackle NFL football. Nobody was good, though. Like, if you look at the team and everybody's kind of doing shittily, like, it's not that deep. Higgins had the nice touchdown. More power to him. Do think he is a guy I've been blind to because of what he did last year. Really thought he phoned it in last year. I mean, he even said as much in an athletic article that came out a couple weeks ago. Like, he had phoned it in last year because he didn't have the contract situation. Now he's realized like he's throwing away years of his prime and he doesn't want to do that. So he's going to go hard this year. And it seems like he's a better player for it. So that's something I need to adjust my priors on and try to, I think, get close to the field on T. Higgins would be nice. But last year he was dog shit. So that's neither here nor there, just about the Bengals in general. But for Chase Brown, look, he runs the same risk as he has in the past of Zach Moss being there, Zach Moss taking goal line work. He's got juice, though. He's fast. He's not, I said it a lot of times, he's not a 20-touch back. Like, he's just not that. He was awful at Illinois analytically when he was getting 28 touches a game. It's too much for him. So you want him to be more efficient than he was yesterday. You want him to have more juice than he showed yesterday, and I think he will. But it wasn't a good start. Tell drafters to give you the check, only 33% filled. I mean, look, they added some more inventory to me. I'm doing the best I can. You guys signing up certainly doesn't mind. Splash Play weekend shirts coming up. Honestly, I need to talk to Pete at some point about that because Pete has kept the merch on his stuff. And I would like to take the merch back just because of the fact that, like, I just wanted to put out really esoteric shirts sometimes. But I don't know that I'm equipped to do a merch business. So some point we'll go after it a little bit more. I promise that. But hey, if you're asking for it, I'll keep it in mind. Jason, you're part of the weekend crew, so you got steak at work. Unfortunately, the stream's a nice treat. All right, well, hey, glad to be here for our guy Matthew, who's always here for me, and I appreciate him. Chase Brown, wouldn't shock me to see Chase Brown fall a little bit in drafts again. People need to see it in front of their eyes, as we've talked about a lot. And even when they do see it in front of their eyes, like Jaden Daniels, even like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, to his credit, I thought looked back to old Joe Burrow for the most part, and as much as you can, and basically one drive for Cincinnati. But people, you don't see it with your eyes. That's when the markets are like really reluctant. All right, so we're on the turn here again. Fortunately, not a Jordan Love team. Unfortunately, not a Brock team. Unfortunately, not a Caleb team. We are in not the best situation for the QBs we need to take. But obviously, we do have a few coming up later on. Brandon Cooks to add at receiver wouldn't be bad, but I think we'll go Jerome Ford for one of these clicks. And Javonte? I think and Javonte. I think this is not a bad RB turn for me at all here. All right, fine. 4 RBs here, 5 receivers, 1 tight end. We've got Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams. So a hero RB build with Pacheco leading the way, which I'm comfortable with, as I've talked about a lot here. Pacheco, I think, comes up in August because he's really going a lot higher in redraft leagues. There's nobody competing with him right now for a spot in that backfield, especially all the guys going down that they tried out, like Kadarius Toney. Him not being able to take pass game work, it all looks good for Pacheco. So Pacheco, White, Ford, Javonte, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr. That's sweet week 17 correlation that matters very little on drafters. Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, and Kyle Pitts. So we are lacking in correlation. We still have some stack options late. We have Atlanta. We have the Rams. We have Carolina with old Bryce Young. Bryce Young, by the way, might not play this preseason, which interesting. For a year 2 guy like CJ Stroud played, and we know exactly what he has. But Bryce, you worry a little bit that they're just protecting him from the shame of night. Quasi did threaten to snipe me, seemingly in jest, and instead takes Trevor Lawrence here. When our guy Diego does have a good amount of Jacksonville stuff, but I think Quasi does too, right? Yeah, Quasi's got Christian Kirk. Tough scene. Name of the game, boys. Welcome to Stream Draft World, where no QB is safe. That's why I don't take them until the last 3 rounds. That's what we've learned. Get ready to learn bench breeze. Yeah, look, good game by Braylon Allen yesterday. The Jets bet is one, guys. I know a lot of you guys don't want to see me be right about the Jets bet and how these guys are just not correctly priced for any of the situation. So I was talking about it, I think, in the Discord yesterday. But so if Breece Hall hits, that means Braylon Allen, who's looking really good right now, seems like he's earning himself a role. He doesn't hit. So that's a pretty easy one. Breece hits more so if he gets all the work and nobody's there threatening. The issue is the Jets have brought in a lot of running backs to take pressure off of Brees. You now have Braylon Allen, who looks, he's not as good as Brees. Like, I'll say that. He doesn't have the avoidability. He's not going to catch passes the same way, but he's a bruiser of a back who you can give 10 touches to and feel good about. They now have a guy, after wanting somebody to take pressure off Brees, they now have the guy who could take pressure off Brees and is showing it daily in practice, showing it now in a preseason game. How does Brees hit at his ADP? Like, he needs he can't have Braylon Allen being good, I think. And then Garrett Wilson, the same token. So, okay, let's say Brees and Braylon Allen both somehow hit. Like, Brees can still give you spike weeks that justify the draft spot. So Brees and Braylon Allen both hit. These guys are both punching in touchdowns. How does Garrett Wilson get there in an offense that's probably not like a 25-point per game offense? Probably more like 20-ish. Like, do the walk back of projections there a little bit. I think you'll start to see what I've been seeing with the Jets since day one. I think people have been fucking dead wrong about the Jets. And those guys should have been second-round picks because of just what this offense is. A defense-first team with, like, signal to not use the RB as much, signal to bring in other pass catchers that aren't Garrett Wilson. It is not it for me. It's not it. Quasi being a gentleman here about taking Trevor Lawrence, sure. How do you feel about handcuffing tight ends and Bowers and Mayer you could do because they're both going to get work together on the field. So they're different players, really. It's not like, one guy behind the other. Handcuffing tight ends, though, I wouldn't do. People asked me last week about handcuffing Kittle with Logan Thomas. What happened? Logan Thomas got cut this week. I said it was not a good idea. Don't handcuff tight ends. It's like a really narrow outcome you're trying to hit. Jared Goff falling a little bit here. He would be a nice pick if we had anything for Detroit. I cannot get a QB who comes back to me that makes sense for my build. So we're going to figure it out. Might just have to take Kirk here at this point to not box myself out in kind of a QB aggressive room. And I'm going to do that here. We'll go Kirk. And we will increase our Week 17 Arizona Rams correlation with Blake Corum, I think, is the move. Josh Downs, not really at a discount. He should be in this room. Blake Corum goes. Think we're done at RB with that one. But we could add one more because it's a 20-round draft. We have Kirk Cousins, Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams, Blake Corum, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, and Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts stacked up with Cousins, got one QB down. Have to get the rest of them coming up later on. All right, let's see what we got here. Brees is 1-2 turn. Wilson after Devontae Smith. Williams starting to settle where he should. Lazard and Corley should switch. I wouldn't switch Lazard and Corley because of the young guy thing, but there we go. You don't bench healthy Brees. You give Brees a breather. Brees getting a breather means him not hitting the ceiling hit last year, which was largely because of him just getting endless work. So that's basically it. Saw a new draft app called Splash Play. I think there's one called Splash. I think it's Splash Sports. But no, it is not my app. My app is in fact Probably, which is a sports betting data app. I don't actually have any. I don't take action myself for anything. I just provide data to help you getting things better. I guess that's really what I do for both parts. For best ball, I give you info to try to make you more successful at best ball. For betting, I give you data to try to make you better at betting. With Probably, of course. Plug on the screen for Probly. Probably.com, promo code SPLASH. If you want to get half off, it's the only deal we have going right now. We got rid of free trials because people were abusing that. Got rid of other discounts. But you guys who watch Splash Play, you'll always have a discount going at Probably.com, promo code SPLASH for half off. We'll put up back the Drafters banner. Get the lawyer Spags. They don't have a squirt squad. I do think we outdate the Splash Sports app. I do think we started Splash Play in 2020. I think Splash Sports is 2021 maybe, but who knows? So who's your Devo asked me about Wawa Pizza. Yeah, no, I have tried Wawa Pizza, as I replied to him, and it did not go well for me. But I had Wawa last night without the pizza, and it was perfectly fine. What do you think about the Casey Washington spike? He's still, he can beat out Ray McCloud. Like, Ray McCloud is not locked in anything. But he's not like a high draft capital guy. He's not somebody I have a ton of faith in. I would go Ray over him, but I think if you're taking these guys in the last round, you have Atlanta, you have Washington, you're trying to do that Week 17 correlation. I would alternate maybe Ray McCloud and Casey Washington, but I think McCloud's a safer bet. He's been honestly quietly pretty good for a while. It's just like he's a low usage guy. Very efficient per touch, though. All right, some build up here. Our guy Marshawn fallen. Yesterday in the BBM room I was in, Marshawn went in the 160s, which was not a joy for me to see. But I will say for you guys out there, I talked about it when we did my exposure review on Friday. You can have teams that lose CLV, and they're still not bad teams. It's just that the bets that you have within there have lost value. But like for Marshawn Lloyd, that's how I'm going to feel about it. I don't know if I'm going to dollar cost him down, but I'll be tempted to with how much exposure I have. I still think he's a great bet. I still think he's a better bet than every other RB who you will see on the screen here. I know we have some Jaleel McLaughlin fans. Jalen Wright looked pretty good for the Dolphins, but he to me is like mostly contingent value. Antonio Gibson, third down back. I like Bucky. Still like Marshawn Lloyd and all these guys for the situation in that offense with the juice he has, in particular in the pass game. He's going to get on the field. It might not be week 1 now, unfortunately, with the hip and now this hamstring thing dragging him down. But he should be healthy by week 1, and I think that's the main thing I'm looking for him. He'll win it out in practice, I believe. I have a few weekly winners drafts with Cousins. Thought it could be a sneaky play since the contest has ended, I think. Yeah, I mean, he makes sense. I'm not the biggest weekly winners guy, so I can't really talk about the game theory part of it that much, but certainly a player that I think makes sense for trying to target spike weeks with Pitts or London. Even Ray if you want to tack him on late. Stafford, I think at this point is the pick for me. Again, just low on QB options, so that's going to be one of them. Need to get another receiver in, and I think DeMarcus Robinson fits the bill here. So we got a Rams double here. We got DeMarcus Robinson added on a little bit early for him, I would say, but in this range, I mean, Burton is cratering. Burton looked good against the third team yesterday, but in terms of workload, he should be cratering. Pearsall going the wrong way as well. Pop Douglas, that entire New England offense should probably be going the wrong way. Bateman, I've never agreed with his ADP. So to get Robinson here when we have Stafford, I think it works. To me, a Cousins Stafford build, not sexy, not fun. It's not Jaden Daniels running for a bunch of TDs, but it's still a build that works pretty well. I got Quasi gets the huge discount on Jared Goff at 158. He's got Gibbs with him. A little bit of a lean stack, but it's pretty good value on Goff. Yeah, there you go. I get why you do it. For drafters, you get away with it more. If you did that in BBM, still think it's probably not a great pick. You just don't want to compete against the stack. But for drafters, you get away with it, I think. It's tough. It's just not pure correlation the way you want. Like, you want your QB success to come because the receivers you also have are going off them because that's what cuts your parlay. But for drafters being total points, I think you get a little bit more grace with all that stuff. It's part of why I like drafters, honestly. Is like you get a little more grace for weird structural choices that on BBM I think can be, if not death for your team, like it could still advance, could still have some good run. It could be like quiet death for your team where then you go into week 17 and you have Jared Goff versus an Amon-Ra, Laporta, Jameson Williams team with Gibbs as well somehow. Like, that's where I think you get fucked. But on drafters, probably less so. There we go. Same page. Any reason to take Dylan, especially on 18th round site or 20th round sites? You can. I think the best case for him is kind of hoovering away some goal line work, which is possible. He's looked, to his credit, there's pieces about him, and he himself has said, and the team has said, he's in better shape than he's been. He's taking it seriously and all that. That said, he got like a minimum contract. Marshawn Lloyd is just, to me, a different level of player. A.J. Dillon's the kind of guy that you can find 50 versions of across the NFL, the UFL, like really, the CFL even, just like big-bodied dudes that don't add a whole lot. But he's a well-liked guy. Like people in Green Bay love him. I know that. We've had a couple of Green Bay people in the chat point out how well-liked he is locally in the area. The team likes him. So that's the stuff that A.J. Dillon has going for him. What he doesn't have going for him is that Marshawn Lloyd has more juice in his pinky finger than A.J. Dillon has in his entire body. He is I know I've sold him enough on stream, and I know people don't want to buy in now, and Marshawn Lloyd was going 162. But in this range, he's got the juice of a millennium. Khalil Herbert, weird workload in that Chicago game. So we had the big play for DeAndre Swift. I think that's why he came out, because he had a 40-yard play. There's no risk pushing him further. But then Khalil Herbert got a lot of work. Roshan Johnson was hurt as well. So Travis Homer took third down work. I think Khalil Herbert, we've thought this for a while because he was getting first team work in the mix. He's just a rotational back there that they're going to take off when Swift is tired or when Swift is like, I don't know, whatever the case may be. So Herbert's fine, but I don't think he's like a much better play. And people are going to think he's now a 1-to-1 play with Swift. And I think they're going to read that game incorrectly, to be honest. But that's how I see it. Choose to see it how you will. All right. Picks coming up here. Feeling pretty good at RB. A little more receiver wouldn't be bad. I think there's been enough positive Jalen Tolbert stuff that I'm going to take a shot on him here. I've been big on Jalen Tolbert and BBM. On drafters, kind of a player I wouldn't take unstacked, but here I can live with it. And I'm just going to take Bryce Young here. I have some idea for what I'm going to do with tight end, and Bryce Young, just getting him out of the way now, I think fits best for me. So a third QB here. Bryce, I'll take the risk that we're not going to see him in the preseason. If I had to guess, because we don't see Bryce in the preseason, he's probably going to be your free QB the rest of the way. So Bryce here in round 16, I will take him. Showcasing Herbert for a trade. Interesting thought. Honestly, interesting thought. I don't think so, though. They could, I guess, if you are going to go Swift, Roschon, and use Homer for real, you could afford to get rid of Herbert. But a team that looked good, like Caleb looked pretty solid. Caleb looked like the guy that is going to save Chicago as a franchise, in my estimation. And that's not me being USC biased. I thought just him out there, he made plays that no Chicago QB has made in, I don't know, 10 years. Maybe Andy Dalton occasionally, but even then wasn't nearly as fluid doing it and wasn't doing it, year one in his career. So I think if you're Chicago, you don't want to, you want to lock in with what you have because you think you have a shot to maybe win the North, at least make the playoffs, make the wild card. So I don't think you get rid of Herbert, but that's honestly, it's not a bad thought by Kurt. Not a bad thought by Kurt at all. And I would push back if I thought that was like insane. I don't think it's insane. Keep the bar low. Just assume all your drafts are going to lose. Look, I mean, that is the most likely outcome, unfortunately. I've said it before. Like, if you watch these streams and you watch them pretty aggressively, you know that I've gotten a lot of shit right this year. I feel really good about my takes. That said, I still am perfectly aware of the fact that the takes might not come together enough. All it takes is an Amari Cooper type who I just don't have on my radar, who I think is not a guy I like. Not that I don't like Amari Cooper, but in general, like the run that he had last year, that's all it takes for you to not win in a BBM and a drafters down the home stretch on any site. So treating basketball like it is pure entertainment money, the wisest thing you could do, even especially now too, like the grinders out there who put in a bunch of entries and try to really get high regular season points totals on an underdog. That's now gone. You're not getting money for just making the playoffs. You're getting money, obviously, but you're not just getting money for finishing well for it actually matters. So it's a different EV equation this year. You got to be focused on making the finals and having something that can finish top 20 on BBM. And on drafters, the price structure is a little bit different. Let's pull it up real fast just for the sake of argument, because we got some time before our next pick. So here's the price structure on drafters. So like really here, your EV is kind of falling off the cliff after top 10. So you're still trying to get total points, obviously, but you're really playing for these top spots. You want to make sure you have enough levers to push yourself up top. The best lever is going to be getting the team right, getting, your Puka Nakuas, your whatever, your Kyron Williams' last year, getting that stuff. But for drafters, it's just a different equation a little bit there. For underdog, you need to make the finals. For drafters, you need to be competitive up top for a while and then have your team surge come playoff time. Honestly, you might have some EV, not something I'm doing and probably not something I'll care enough to dig into too far. You might have some EV projecting out the traditional playoff weeks on drafters and prioritizing for that a little bit. Like almost treating it like the sprint tournament on underdog, where you're getting scoring from week 15, 16, and 17 combined. That would be one little thing of EV I think might matter for drafters, but not enough. Wouldn't matter enough for me to try to come up with it. Like drafter style more than tournament. Tournament feels like pure luck. Yeah, look, I mean, it's a lot of luck. I think even guys like Fareed Shahid who won last year, like his team is definitely not the stacky way that you'd expect. That said, he puts together a lot of micro stacks, got sniped on stuff, recovered, made new stacks. But that team is definitely one where you look at and it's like, wow, there's just a lot of little pieces came together like a parlay, but not in the same way it would be if you just had 18 uncorrelated players on your roster. But the luck component of pods is like a big one. Pat Kerrane himself has said his team scraped through the pods that ended up winning BBM the year that the Bengals game got canceled with the Bills. So that's 2 luck factors for him really came in deep there. And that's a guy who's about as smart as anybody in the space. So you got to think accordingly. All right. Wide receiver talent pretty low. We do have 7 at this point. Need to get tight end, though, and we are going to do that. One of these picks is Jatavian Sanders, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. Could try to push him around. He's had a nice camp, mostly because guys have gotten hurt in front of him, so that's part of that consideration. And honestly, Rams have gotten a lot of positive steam for their tight end usage, and they're using multiple guys. So they're using Colby Parkinson. They're using Davis Allen, who I liked a lot last year, broke out when Tyler Higbee went down. They're also using Hunter Long a good amount at tight end. I might take Parkinson and Davis Allen in this build. I don't need to because we have Kyle Pitts as our quote-unquote elite tight end. But that's my thought for right now because I think we're done at RB, definitely done at QB. Wide receiver would like to add 1 more on, but I don't think I need to add 2 necessarily. So right now we have a 3-5-7-3. We have Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford with Bryce Young as well, bringing up the rear. Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams, and Blake Corum as our RB room with Pacheco, of course, being the hero RB up top. Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Demarcus Robinson, and Jalen Tolbert. Like these guys a lot as late picks. Like they're not your rookie breakout guys, so they're kind of less fun and strategically less what you want to do in general. But with guys like Burton, guys like Javon Baker being the guys who you're trying to target for breakouts, who the talent is there, but they're just kind of blocked from having the production you want to see. I would rather have a Demarcus Robinson and a Jalen Tolbert, like guys I can project, guys who I think have upside on their projection week to week. So I'm okay with those guys. And Kyle Pitts, Jatavian Sanders, and Colby Parkinson in the tight end room. Pitts has got to carry a lot of water there, but I don't mind those guys' late picks. Drafters is a great format. The other playoff formats, though, align better with NFL viewing experience. That's fair. That's fair. It definitely, you're not sweating as much on drafters, which I view as a perk, but if you like the week-to-week sweat, and, a lot of gamblers like to lose money, psychologically. They like to lose money as much as they like to win money. So if you're that kind of person, you might enjoy other formats a little bit less. Solid squad. I think we've cobbled together something unique. Right now, doing 4 drafter streams a week. So they've come on Saturday and Sunday, but theoretically, I can move the Sunday one around. I'm just not sure. Not sure it'll work with our lifestyle, unfortunately. I'm not a good evening streamer because that's when the kid is home, and Alex tends not to want the child thrown at her because she's often doing work late. The more I lose, the more I can complain. There you go. There you go. Sweat equity is a thing, People hear the phrase about startups where you're working hard, you're getting theoretical value, whatever, quote unquote, pay, and the equity you rack up from that. But sweat equity of just enjoying a sweat is definitely a thing people have in gambling. Take this tight end room to battle with anybody. Easily 2 of my favorite late big boys. There we go. I appreciate that. I think it's a unique team, honestly. Like the Rams stuff we did here, I think is kind of fun. It's a lot of Rams, but a Rams bet without Cooper Kupp. Kind of interesting. Don't think we want to add Jordan Whittington on it. Ray McLeod goes here, so he's no longer an option for us to stack up with Cousins. Mingo could be a move. People curious about Will Shipley, maybe. I felt like he had a really mid showing for a guy that people, I think, want to see be good. I think he's mid. He was mid at Clemson. But he is a guy that is getting work as the backup there. Still think he and Gainwell, if Barkley went down, it would be him and Gainwell splitting a role. And I think it's mostly that contingent value. It's what his upside would be. But not a Shipley guy. He did not show out to me in that game a couple of days ago. Evan Hull goes here at 224. Possible 3rd down back for Indianapolis. And guys, we got one more draft coming. And if you are somebody who might leave, leave and come back because I am going to do a giveaway again. 2 drafters, million tickets, $15 value coming up at the end of this video. So stay tuned. I will email them over to drafters tomorrow, and you'll get them hopefully by the end of the week. It's usually how quickly sometimes it's faster, but I'm just going to say end of the week to give them some cover. But giveaway coming at the end of the video as well, so stay tuned. All right. 2 picks here. Then we're technically done. So I might just go into the next room. Gross pocket. Let's take a shot on Casey Washington, maybe. Don't think I'll get Casey Washington on underdog very much. So I'll take a Casey Washington share here, given that Ray McLeod already went. I feel like I've been doing a lot of Mingo. There's really nobody else on Carolina who has value worth taking besides Ja'Tavion Sanders late. This is tough. I don't know what to do this last pick. Whittington for more Rams shit. I'll go Mingo again, I guess. Mingo not showing out after having the best training camp of everybody on the Panthers. I really shouldn't take him more, but it's drafters. We can get away with a little bit more. So it's a 3-5-9-3 build right now. We have Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford. We have Bryce Young here at QB. We got Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams, Blake Corum. We got Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Demarcus Robinson, Jalen Tolbert, Casey Washington, and Jonathan Mingo. Are you saying these guys are? I don't think Casey Washington has not been a flavor of the week. He's been going for a while. And Mingo's had the good camp. He didn't play well in the game they had, but nobody did on the Panthers. Pitts, Ja'Tavion Sanders, Colby Parkinson. Sanders, again, coming up a little bit because of the fact that all the guys are hurt there, which is one of those little things that matters for a guy who's not great like Ja'Tavion Sanders. You kind of need something to happen to give him a chance to like actually earn it on the field, and just him getting volume there without those guys would be it. All right, so everybody on the Panthers is not Deontay Johnson. Is a better way to say it, but he's been keeping Leggett at bay before Leggett got hurt again. All right, another draft coming up here. Again, you can see the prize structure: $15 entry fee, $500K to first place. If you have a deposit on drafters, do it. You might actually be able to get in this draft room and still deposit on drafters and just hop right in. We got 8 spots, so if you want my EV, come get it. And you guys know how I do this. I'm gonna kick back. It's union rules here, where I just kick back and relax. Oh, that filled. All right, that was 6 spots pretty quickly, if nothing else. I'm not on the clock until another draft starts. This is vacation time for old Spags, leaning back. You know what's something that I hadn't heard of at all until this week? That Kill Tony podcast, not in my fucking headspace at all. And all the Stochastic guys met in New York to go and do it, or to go and see it. They're all into it. I've seen a lot of people talking on social media about it. Was not aware that Kill Tony thing is such a big thing. But we filled the room here, so I guess I don't have to fill time too much. But I'm usually in the loop on shit, man. None of my friends have talked to me about that. I don't know. I'm also not like a big Rogan guy, so that could be part of it. But threw me for a loop. Oh, just last picks on drafters in general. That's fair. That's fair. I think, and that's a true that's fair. It's not a derisive that's fair. Be a last picks on drafters. I think you're right. Like in general, on any site, your 18th round picks should be reflective of what you think this moment in time. It should be something you think has staying power. Like even Doris Fountain, I think, is a player where I have concerns about him having staying power. But he was getting all the camp reports of being wide receiver 3 for Detroit. You take him a little bit. I would say you don't go crazy on it. I think that's how you handle that when you have these news items, and it might be a sliver of an edge. And if the guy keeps the job, like if Casey Washington is like playing ahead of Ray McLeod all of a sudden, then maybe it starts to make more sense and you keep doubling down on it. Your guy Jason here, OG Mans fan, back-to-back 101s. Hey, you're a probably influencer. Now you're a drafters influencer. Building it pretty well. Watching the replay yesterday, I realized I should get a small kiddie pool to lounge out. And we have one for Luca, but we don't have like an adult one. I also if I don't have a real pool, I don't want a fake one. I don't even want an above ground one. It's got to be like a real dug in one, or I'm fucking trash. No disrespect to everybody else, but for me and how I view it and how I'd want it, I'm in trash. Dano in the 11th spot. Dano, you better fucking use that drafters promo code SPLASH if you're in, you're in my room. Shout out Dano. Dano's got a fun avatar. I don't know what this is. You can't click your name. Is that Jim Harbaugh? Not sure what Dano's avatar is. Oh, is he? Well, there you go. That's an important audience. The Rogans and Taylor Swifts may be the ones who decide the election with control over their audience. My wife, who is one of the biggest Swifties literally in the world, she's in the 0.01% of listening percentiles of Taylor. She believes that Taylor is going to put out the message about who she's voting for in November when it has most impact, which would be the way to do it, I guess. Quasi can't stay away from me, and I was right, Jim Harbaugh. I could tell a small Jim Harbaugh when he's there. Wow, look at this steal. Look, this big steal on ADP with Amon-Ra St. Brown at pick 6. Normally he goes at pick 5.8. We're getting him at pick 6. Woo! Value hound. Value hounded Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're killing it. The level out the chemicals after your weeding is done. It's true of most things. In-ground pools only tell you lived in California without telling me you lived in California. Yeah, look, I've seen a couple nice above-ground pools. I just refuse. I refuse. The dream, we could have had one if we moved to New Jersey, which is unfortunate because my wife didn't want to live too close to her hometown. She grew up in Cherry Hill. So she's like, oh, well, let's move fucking 40 minutes away to make it inconvenient for my mom, for her mom and dad to come and like whatever and hang out, or us to throw Luca at them. One of the stupidest decisions in hindsight that's ever occurred. But in Cherry Hill, every fucking house is a pool, which would have been my dream. The pools are expensive, so that's the trade-off. If you get them done well, there's certain ones you can do that are like the saltwater ones where you could have them where they're mostly self-maintained. That would be the real dream. I mean, like, I'm not gonna. I know the political things affect my. The most downloaded video is the one where I got annoyed at some. Actually, no. I made a joke about DJ Moore being a Trumper, and then somebody got really butthurt, and then I fucking went off because like they this fucking wah, you know. You know how it is. What's good for me is not good for thee kind of approach to mocking things, which I will say, you know, again, not to make it political. The most fun part, I think, of this political process since Kamala's taken over is like everybody's just fucking ripping on the other side. Now it's just everybody being shitty. And to their credit, I think some of the jokes on the left have been good, which is not always the case about, you know, liberal Twitter. But hey, again, don't punish me. Don't get butthurt. Probably not even voting. So don't worry about me. My beliefs are my beliefs. Even if I don't tell you about them, they remain. I did see the video about the bear. Then New York put out a video about the proper way to dispose of bear. Just like, God, fucking everything. Everything has to be a viral moment, right? That's the world. Excuse me, bear fucker, do you need my assist? That's a good one. Who's your Devo? Coming back hot in chat. It is a funny time. We are alive in a very funny time. We're on the clock here. Hey, I never get fucking Debo. I do like Collins more. I have to admit that. But Debo here at a value. Now we're getting actual value. We got the 0.2 ADP discount on Amon-Ra. And now we're getting Debo back. Woo! This fucking hasn't been the case for a while. Debo at a almost 5-pick discount. Let's rock. Team Debo. This is pretty ominous. I'm at that age where I've seen all evil. Do you live in the Stranger Things town or the It town? I think that. But yeah, look, you know, everybody's my pet thesis, which is one that I came up with in my teens, maybe early 20s, that I think is like the one that's proven most true in 2024, is we're generally like most things are just like one incompetent person or one person not paying enough attention in a given day, fucking up everything. And now it's like, that's just what the world is. Like the CrowdStrike thing, just one incompetent person pushing code. Like there's a lot of the world now that's just like one fucking idiot ruining everything for everybody else. So, you know, that would be how I view the world. But, you know. Oh, really? I would get ats for Mary. Like, hey, it's not for them. Nobody wants to buy my vote. No, I couldn't sell it. Especially if they wanted to buy my vote and it was who I would vote for anyway, then I could sell it. But shout out to all you guys hanging out here. Look, you know, I know people get weird about the stuff where it's like, I'm here for fantasy football. I'm just a guy gambling on stream, trying to have entertaining conversation here for an hour, a couple hours a day. So if you enjoy the convo here, enjoy the honesty, enjoy our community, please subscribe down below, hit the like button, splash play on a slow death crawl to 4K subs. We're going to get there one day. We're going to get there when the audience is right for it. Like when we have enough people that are going to fit the vibe. So hit the like button, subscribe. Your engagements go a long way here. And we're on the clock again. Derrick Henry, a little bit of a discount. I like Derrick Henry. I'm just gonna keep fucking taking little non-values. I'm okay with Derrick Henry. It's fine. Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra, Debo. I like all these guys. This isn't like going to be a Jaden team that's going to make my heart sing. This is a nice little team we're going to build. Well, Derrick Henry, hero RB. Neighbors injured. It's not great. But again, how injured? Injured enough that we got a discount, but not so injured that he's not playing week 1. That's what we're hoping for. Bro, we've been drafting since 2 weeks before the last Super Bowl. Wow, yeah, this process of drafting every day on stream, basically, or every weekday more so. Started for me in January when the big board opened, and now we've added on weekends with drafters. We've done a lot of drafts here, guys. This is now draft number 166. I have to actually update the banner because I always forget to do that. But this is draft number 166 for me on the year. My 19th entry in the Drafters Million. Just shy of 100 in BBM. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. We're hitting really meaningless milestones left and right here on stream. Small tweak, great. Give me a discount. Give me a discount to neighbors. It's tough to avoid political discourse and splash play when so many candidates are doing semen-adjacent activities. Well, you know, we don't. What does Kamala do? I don't know. We know one place that semen hasn't gone. You know, it hasn't hit the ovaries. Now that makes her an invalid person. This guy here, color-coded in the 12 hole. That's fun. I don't think it's a good team. But I do like the matchy of color. You just don't get that very often. Worst way to draft. Helped introduce you to best ball. Hey, love to hear that. I don't know your back. I don't know who's your Devo. I didn't know that. Were you one of the people that came over from the flock? I feel like we have some refugees from the Fantasy Flock channel, which I think, you know, that's the training wheels, which is why they get the most commissions. You grow up and then you move into, you know, my tier of, which I would say is like me, Pete, hopefully, you know, legendary upside guys, Spike Week guys, the Pound, Tyler now with Bindles, those guys. Oh, that's rough. My family hates you now. You got to make more entertaining content for the entire family. Does the entire family not like dick jokes? Is that not how it goes? Christian Kirk here. Play that always feels pretty cozy to me. And I think that's just what we do. I think I'm just basically fucking autopiloting the Steam right now, but I'm happy with the players. We got Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Debo, Christian Kirk. Falling ass backwards in week 17 correlation we don't really need. All right, happy at the start. I think I've earned this. I didn't even get to my second beer yet. I bring 2 beers for this process, and I'm only on beer 1 still. All right. You know what that means, guys. Time for you to chug it. Should I go full screen to chug it? All right. If I gag a little, don't mind me. Hey, cheers. Here's to juicy monkeys everywhere. Here's to the juicy monkey in your life and his jaunty hat. Once again, more than I should have. More than I should have had in that can to chug it. Woo. I don't get to bro out too often these days, so on stream is where I get to chug beers like a piece of shit. Slammed it. There we go. Flocked in an out-of-character collaboration yesterday with PPR Tyler, where he said he's working on being less gringy or cringy? Less grinchy? I mean, the Flock did yell at me once, did DM me and Pete before he had met Pete in person about making fun of him in a way that was like pretty aggressive, which is what has colored my experience with him, besides just thinking he's not a great drafter. Best ball on call, my man. Oh, all right. Props on the beer chug. Well, you know what? Best ball on call. If you join the channel live on stream, you get a stereotypical Italian accent. Welcome to the family. Best ball on call. And leaving some nice content. Oh, fuck. Nice comments for a while here on the channel, along with other channels out there. But welcome to the family. Best on call. I'll chug a beer with you any day, my friend. Welcome. Mwah, 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 mwah. Kisses. Hat falling off. There we go. That's what happens. Make sure to join the Discord, get in the mix. My rankings, by the way, probably coming out tomorrow. They're going to move them to Monday afternoons because doing this doubleheader stream on Sundays is fucking up my schedule. But rankings will be updated probably tomorrow afternoon for the VIP members. Of course, you do get my rankings. 10 team reviews a month for me. And my news document as well, which I update, of course, every weekday with all the news I think matters. we did accuse the Flock of fucking old RBs. We did. To do that on stream. We're on the clock here. So here's the issue. You try to do the Mark Andrews Zay thing here. You're not going to get Mark Andrews back most likely because the Zay Flowers drafter is going to take him. So I would guess I would try to take Lamar. But those who do not do must try. All right. I'm going to go Lamar. Let's see what happens. So the move normally would be you take Mark Andrews no matter what you get an elite tight end because we have a Zay Flowers drafter here, he would absolutely have taken Lamar at 58 or 63. I think somebody's going to take unstacked Mark Andrews. It's possible they don't. So that's where we're going to try to find out here. I think somebody's going to take Mark Andrews before he comes back to 67, though. So we're probably just going to backdoor Lamar. But that's okay because we have Lamar with Henry. It's fine. We can live with it. We've got a lot of rushing touchdowns coming for Baltimore, which I'm okay with. Explains why Flock was so aloof last year. He and Pete had made up. He and Pete are, I wouldn't say pals, but they've made up. They've hung out. They've gone on hikes together and stuff, I believe. So, I think they're cool. They're in like the underdog cabal. Like I'm like second tier underdog where like underdog gives me some money and like they know who I am. But like Pete's in like the inner circle where he's like an investor in the company. He's got equity. So if they sell for billions, your boy Pete will well-deservedly be getting a little bit of a taste of that. That's not inside baseball. That was a public thing a while ago. Let's see. Get ready to bring best ball thought leadership and semen into the Discord. Best ball. Okay, again, I should read the chats before I pull them up. But our guy Robert Griffin III has earned that trust, even though he's given me the exact opposite reason to have earned that trust. Do I like likely late with Lamar Henry start? Yeah. If I don't get Andrews, yeah. Likely's fine. You're gonna run some 12 personnel. No issue with that. I think this room should give me Mark Andrews because like you never get sick values like that on drafters. I think it'd be really cool if the room did that for me. Wink, wink. Can we let Spags have some fun here? I know Chunk wasn't going to be the one who upsets it. These two guys, though, Idle Hands and Jay. Jay and Idle Hands, if you're in the chat, Spags has a lot of content, man. I've done 170 hours of stream drafts this year. Let me get Mark Andrews. Idle Hands, come on, bud. Come on, man. Come on, bro. I'm begging you. Please, Idle Hands. Please, Idle Hands. Come on. Yeah, Mark Andrews and Lamar. Oh, this is sick. That was the opposite of walking somebody down. That was just begging the room to let me get something fun here. This is fun. All right, team is Lamar, Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Debo, Christian Kirk, and Mark Andrews. The biggest discount for Mark Andrews that's ever occurred. And Lamar, pretty big discount on him too. There we go. Soft collusion. The thing is, it never fucking works. The walking him down sometimes works, but man, just the room does not often help me out. Beggars could be choosers. This is great. This is a well-balanced team. Not as well-balanced as a 12-hole. Beautiful color coding. This is like a binder by an OCD person in the 12-hole. But for me, I got QB, I got RB, got to make it up at receiver. The next two rounds have to be receiver. We're okay. Lamar, Henry, and Mandrews. Yeah, this team is fun. This is like, people ask, by the way, what's a quote unquote drafters team? This is a fucking drafters team. An underdog, I don't want to have this much balance. Usually you can survive, but like you're really risking being dead in the water for receiver upside. On drafters, it's just being a little more balanced. Like, I love this. This is fucking fun. This is a fun team. And I don't think it's a winning team. Like, if Andrews and Lamar is the winner, I'm so fucked, man. Because people are taking Andrews and Lamar on every site as chalk. But this is sick. All right, so, I mean, you guys know Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a good pick. David Montgomery, also a fun pick. Ladd would be fun. We have a Detroit bet already, so really either guy works here. But I think we need the receiver more than RB at this point. So we'll go JMO. You guys know I love David Montgomery. That's my dude, which is not anything anybody's ever said about David Montgomery. But in terms of that Lions backfield, I think he's going to have a good year. So like David Montgomery, but we will go JMO here at pick 78 to make it up at receiver. So good little Detroit bet. Obviously, we're live to be a Jared Goff team. Very logical Jared Goff team. Is a definition of this team fucks. This is, in terms of value and logical construction, this is probably one of the cleanest teams I've built on stream. I've built some nice BBM teams on stream that I'm very proud of, including back in like April and May. This one, though, this one aligns nicely. I'm happy with this. QB, RB, tight end anchors, and PPR sluts. Okay. Yes, if you missed yesterday's stream, you learned, you wouldn't have learned, I guess you now can learn, that I have gravitated towards calling the guys who are better in PPR on drafters. I call them my PPR sluts. I call them my little guys that are just, they're better on drafters. They're going to give you a little more PPR. Curtis Samuel types here, even DeAndre Hopkins types. Your guys, Keenan Allen, the biggest PPR slut of them all. He's the oh man, what's a good reference here? He's like one of the gang. He's like the Houston. This is a dated reference. He's like a gangbang queen of PPR sluts. Is Keenan Allen. So there's a lot of great PPR sluts on drafters you want to get some exposure to. Lamar Stack is one of my favorites of the year, but feel like a lot of people have it. That's absolutely it. Yeah. They don't have it at 54 and 67 though. So that's where I'm getting the value out of it. But yes, Lamar and Andrews hitting to me in BBM would not be good. If you turn on any stream of people that are smart, that are drafting basketball teams, I'm sure Justin Herzig, same ones on ETR, Pete and Pat, when they draft together, it's just constant Lamar and Andrews together. But I think, not one of my favorites to go to for that reason in general, but here at this value, that's got to be the cheapest across any site. Maybe DraftKings, somebody got it cheaper, but probably not because of Lamar, because DraftKings loves a good early QB. You just don't get Lamar and Andrews at 54 and 67 that often. That was sick. There you go. Somebody got my reference here. The Houston 500. Yeah, that was it. That's Keenan Allen for you, just catching balls. that's him with the jugs machine. No pun intended. He's catching 500 balls in the Houston 500. Big old PPR slut. Does drafters cancel drafts? I'm sure it's happened before. That I would hope that's not the reason why, but I'm sure it's happened. You got to have like real legit collusion though. I've honestly never seen anybody on drafters, which is odd because I definitely have seen it on DraftKings, definitely seen it on Underdog, had drafts thrown out on both sites. I've never seen anybody do anything that would even feel like is close to collusion on drafters. Like I've never seen a room where people are doing dumb shit, letting picks kind of get steamed up stuff. Let's see what idle hands will do here. Close to timing out. He goes Jaden at 90. That's fun. This is not a Jaden team for me, but I like what he's doing. We got to get another receiver here. Hopkins is going to be good to go around week 1. We do have another week 17 correlation with Jacksonville. So we're building a week 17 correlate. I swear to God, this team, the way the team is coming together, this is the kind of team that can win on drafters where we're doing week 17 correlation when nobody does it. We've got guys who are going to perform well in the aggregate of total points with Lamar, Derrick Henry, these receivers, Mark Andrews. This is like the kind of team that would win drafters. Obviously, Lamar goes down, Andrews goes down, I'm fucked. But like this build, this is the build. This is the build that I really think is strong. Yeah, I would say, to go back to the previous topic, I would say gangbang videos in general are pretty repulsive. There's one time where me and my buddies were hanging out when we were in college. And in college, I feel like you're just pushing the limits, like what's fucking normal. This, swear to God, is not going to get as weird as you probably think with that intro. But we were just hanging out. My friend was going to Hopkins, Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, hanging out at his apartment. And we watched like a gangbang video for some reason because one of his buddies, who was like was a wrestler, very fratty guy, was like, let's watch this gangbang video. We're like, all right, I guess. No, we weren't all, we weren't all whacking it. We weren't doing ookie cookie to it, but it was just like the saddest thing in the world. I would never watch a gangbang on my own because it's not the type of content I'm into. It's just dudes wearing like, so they have to wear wristbands to show like they're part of the gangbang, and like they're wearing neon wristbands, and they're all just like jerking their half erect penises while it's like just waiting for their moment where they get like 2 minutes with the girl and then they have to it's awful. It's not good content. So that's what I would say as a caveat to anything. I think Zach Moss makes sense here. Brian Robinson, I like him as well, but we'll scoop up a little bit of value with Zach Moss. This team is now one where I just don't want to fuck it up down the home stretch. So we need another RB here. Zach Moss is going to be the RB. Here we go. Diego is newer to the community, though. He has paid his way in, so he's been jumped in. I missed the person I was 2 minutes ago. I've been in the room where guys want to watch porn together. So awkward. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things you learn in college where it's like, I don't ever need to do this again. I don't need to. And you do not get content like this from the fantasy flock from Mason. No. No, yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is not. Okay, I tell you guys how it is. The promise here on Splash Play, I'm gonna be the same fucking person I am every day. That is the biggest promise I can give you guys. I also am really good at knowing ball and football. Look at this. Look at this guy holding a football here. Trying to teach Luke how to shoot a basketball this morning. I'm diverse. Fucking kid cannot shoot a basketball, by the way. 2-year-old. It's gonna take time, but he cannot hit the hoop even on a 6 foot. Like we have one of those. What is it? Gorilla. It's got like some gorilla like name. Silverback. That's it. Silverback hoop, I think. So that's the hoop that I have. You can move it up and down. It's at like 6 feet right now. Fucker can't fucking shoot it to the rim. Just trying to tell him to roll it off his fingers. He can't do it. So there we go. I know ball. Anyway, back to porn. There's a porn film in my fraternity house at IU. A lot of girls gone wild at USC, which was funny to see because I was at USC during the peak period there. Actually, the founder of Girls Gone Wild, the guy who had a lot of missteps, Joe something. What the fuck is his name? Joe Francis. Actually, I don't even need to look it up. Joe Francis was his name. He was a USC guy. Probably pretty rapey, if I'm being honest. I think it's fantasy adjacent. It's demographic adjacent for sure. Look, I got to be real with you guys. I know for a fact there's at best one woman watching right now, if even. So it's just a bunch of dudes here talking about Girls Gone Wild. I'm 6'1". I can dunk on 6 feet. How dare you, Dick Chuck? I don't look tall on stream because the way it's framed, I'm legitimately an above average height human being. How dare you? I could dunk on 9 feet. 10 is pushing it at 40. Jordan Love falling deeply here. He's not the pick for Brian Robinson came all the way back. I was going to take him at the last pick. What the fuck happened? I was too busy talking about porn and teaching Luka to shoot a basketball. This turn got really askew over here. Yeah, Brian Robinson at a 11 pick discount. Sure. Okay. Am I going to win drafters on a stream where we're having the most inappropriate conversation possible? This is fantastic. I don't have to do a standing stream. I could stand here. Like, all right. So it's a tough setup here because of the couch. It's like I'm on a couch right now. The table, all my stuff is. Look, look here. I'll stand up. Okay. So I'm standing on my couch right now. Look how tall I am. Look how long here. You can see it. Woo. Oh, there we go. Look at this is a tall man. This is a man with some girth. Some girth and some length. Give me a beer and a half. Get me talking about gangbangs. I'm going to sit up on the couch. The disrespect. My child is short, though. I was a 99th percentile size boy until I was like 10, 11. And he's the opposite. He's like 25th. Here, look at that. It's not quite Pete pulling out his nips, but yeah, check out my walking thighs. 3 miles of walking a day, boys. You get thighs like that. Oh, my best. Soft 3.5. We're okay. Need banana for scale. Spags. The weekend drafts on Drafters, we have fun. Look, if you enjoy this content, if you fucking stuck with this draft and you've enjoyed this content, which, by the way, I'm building the sickest team. You imagine the attention some other drafters, what it would take them to build a team like this, and I'm here showing off the gams. Please subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. I do streams like this every day. Maybe not exactly like this. Usually not popping a beer at 11 a.m. But on Saturday and Sunday, I do. The Drafters Drinking Club. Okay, so I think I just take Trevor Lawrence here and keep building out a sick bet. RB receiver does nothing for me. Yeah, sure. We'll stack it up. We got Lamar. We got Trevor Lawrence stacked up with Christian Kirk. And I'll tell you what, guys, I might go Jared Goff with my next pick. Is that going to ruin the team or is it going to make it even sicker? I think it's going to make it even sicker. The team so far is the Lamar, Trevor Lawrence team. Don't get distracted by me showing off my goods here on stream. We got Lamar, Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Zach Moss, and Brian Robinson. A huge value. The deepest value on Brian Robinson in a while. I don't know why. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Debo, Christian Kirk, Jameson Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, and Mark Andrews. This team is flawless. Like, there's no risk on this team We need to get some upside, I think, to make it pop a little bit more. This team is fucking sick. This team is fire. This is my finest work. Thank you. Plus EV vibes. There we go. Leave a like and comment. Yes. Gabe Davis instead of Goff. No. I think with this build where we have 2 Detroit guys, we just lean in on having QB being fucking goated. But we'll see, though. It depends what comes back. We got a streaming has been top-notch, Christopher. Thank you. Thank you, Robert Griffin III. Ross is in the bag for me anyway. Our guy Robert Griffin III is in the bag for me, but I appreciate it. I'm trying the best I can. I think I'm hitting my stride in August. We'll see. See how the stresses of the world treat me in the upcoming week. I'm feeling good. Hey, I've earned a drink. And shout out to all you guys hanging out, too. It's fun that we have this many people streaming on a Sunday. When this stream ends, by the way, giveaway coming. So even if you don't want to watch me anymore, I would just mute it and keep it on in the background and come back when I'm in round 20, and you'll be entered to win a giveaway here. $15 entry fees in the Drafters Million. 2 tickets coming up at the end of the video. So stay tuned, you sweet, sweet boys. And if you are new to Drafters, if you only play on Underdog, you're just watching me stream today, drafters.com, promo code SPLASH, $100 deposit match. I can't promise you they're going to show you the goods like I do here. But they're going to show you the goods in terms of EV. Decent chance this tournament, the Drafters Million overlay is only 33% filled about 4 weeks to go. So check it out, drafters.com, promo code SPLASH. Gets you a $100 deposit match, and that's a pure match as well. So check it out, drafters.com. Oh, I have a burp, but it's, I don't want to do it. I'm respectable. Despite all I've given away to you boys today, I'm a respectable gentleman. I think I have to take, like, over the guys here, like, Ty Chandler is kind of nice. All right, what do we have? Where's the Laporta guy? Laporta guy's over here. I think we're going to take one more RB here. Charbonnet's okay. Charbonnet moving the wrong way to me. I think this is Kenneth Walker's backfield. Ty Chandler to me moving the right way. It wasn't like a great game, but we know he's like Aaron Jones's 1B. So we're going to go the way of Ty Chandler for now, and we're going to try to see if we can get Jared Goff at 150. This corner here is pretty well stocked at QB, and they have no correlation with Detroit, so no logical reason they would take Goff. We've been hot in this draft. We've pushed a lot of things that should not have been able to be pushed, so if I lose Jared Goff, we're okay. Definitely going to need a smidge of the winnings for this one, assuming our big board team doesn't win at all. I will say, for when we were doing the guest streams, I feel like Chunk, Adam, I feel like we built some good teams together. We have a couple of good teams that I've built, people on stream. Okay, if the season is starting, we get the Spags DFS, make them squirt player of the week. I can add it, I guess. We are going to be in DFS mode coming up here. I'm the only channel in the world that goes year-round every day. So we're going to keep that going for one more NFL season, it looks like. So yes, DFS content coming hot and heavy. Showdowns, Mondays and Thursdays. Weekly previews, Fridays. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I think I want to do the rankings again, but the rankings was probably the least popular video. So we'll figure it out. Yes, the promo code does help me directly. Thank you, Nickel. Yes, it basically just, I mean, I probably shouldn't tell you, but I get a cost per acquisition for every user here. So if you go on there, you deposit, you get money, you get up to a $100 deposit match, and I get a referral fee for every person who comes. So yes, depositing on Drafters right now is, in fact, the best way to support the show. Underdog as well, obviously. It's literally the same deal for both. I don't know, if you guys are curious about the industry, I might do a paywalled video at some point where I just talk about Splash Play business in general, just like what it is, because I think people might be curious. But I have to figure that out. I got to figure out what the plan is after just the rigor of doing drafts every day. In-season best ball content on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's tough because there's just not as much interest, honestly. I really wish Underdog would bump their prizes to 100K, because then you really get the full interest, but neither here nor there. Referral fee for every person. Yes, every person who comes. If you ejaculate, I also get I get a little bit of vig on that. I get 10% of your sperm is what I get on each deal. Disgusting. All right. We got a pick coming up here. I'm feeling good right now. This team is locked and loaded. Now, the real question here. Okay, so made a bet on Minnesota. Hawkinson, I think, makes this team very live at tight end, where we just have Andrews carrying us till Hockenson comes back. We keep big upside. Jared Goff, we have direct correlation. Obviously, it's possible he beats out Lamar some weeks, possibly beats out Trevor Lawrence. Goff, a 30-pick discount. We got to do Goff. I don't think it's a good 3 QB build. I will say that, but it makes too much sense when you have a Detroit double and a Niners bring back for week 17. Like, we have a game stack here, which isn't a must on drafters, but can make a thing that makes the team actually win in week 17. I want to give myself the outs here. We have 20 rounds. We have Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff as our QBs. We got some 4 RBs and a hero RB build. We have Derrick Henry, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson, and Ty Chandler. At receiver, we got these guys early, and we've gone away from her a little bit now. We have Amon-Ra, Debo, Christian Kirk, Jameson Williams, DeAndre Hopkins. And at tight end, we have Mark Andrews. So I like this team a lot. I'm really trying to figure out how I stick the landing on this, but I like this team a lot. It's basically it. I'm D, that's Spags. I'm D love, that's Spags the industry. I don't know what that means, my friend. I don't understand. So you take that camera outside and do a 362-ended dunk on 9 inches. If you miss, you give away 4 entries today. If you hit, I'll send you 2 entries. To be clear, I'm not paying for them myself. Drafters doesn't comp me the entries, but moving my camera out here would be very difficult. There's a whole rig. I don't know. Actually, there's probably some way I could show you guys my studio. Before the end of the season, I will show my studio here on camera as well. I do plan to also bring Luca on at some point before the end of the draft cycle, because I've not ever had Luca on camera. He is a handful. But I think we're going to do it at some point before the end of August. So you got some stuff coming up here. But yeah, basically I have a ring light and a camera here, and all stuff is behind me. That's how it says. One of the evolutions of my best ball learnings has been drafting almost exclusively hero/anchor RB. I know my skill level functions best in that build over 0. Okay. I mean, look, if you feel comfortable with it, that's fine. I do think it's all a sliding scale of the difficulty level. Like, if you build a 0 RB team, you're basically playing on Heisman mode in college football. Like, you're trying to build a team then that hits, you add enough volume there. It's a lot of balancing of what the build is. If you build a hero RB team, you're playing a little bit more like, pro mode, whatever. I forget what the third level is. But like, you're playing on a level where it's like a little bit harder than medium. And if you do like the, dual RB, you're doing it on easy mode, but it's not really easy because you're kind of killing yourself over the course of all your receivers. But I think that's basically how to view it, is like 0 RB is you have to get a lot of shit right. But, if you know the game well, I think you'll have good results. Hero RB, I would think similar process, but, a little bit easier to get median projection. But like, if you're just trying to for pure ceiling, which is what we're mostly trying to do in like the biggest tournaments, less so a total points format like drafters, that's where 0 RB has the most potency. Because if you get everything right and you also have all this upside because your RBs hit late, you're going to have like a loaded receiver room. And frankly, Fareed last year did have a pretty loaded receiver room. All right, we're on the clock here. I like Luke Musgrave. I want to get receiver more, but receiver is not an option at this point. So I think we're just have to get creative at receiver late. So Luke Musgrave, tight end 2, come on down. And he is technically week 17 oppo correlation for the Minnesota bet we have. I was hoping in the back of my heart that Hockenson would come all the way back, because I think that would have been the one thing that makes this team feel like it is like fully locked and loaded for the future. Oh, you'd love the industry of how it works of streamer. Sure, yeah. I mean, I'll say the main way it works is that unless you're like the flock and like I think Pete at this point, you're really not making huge money from it. Would be the main way it works. But happy to talk about it. I know we got enough people who want to do it. That might be something I do. But probably a paywall video, because I can't imagine it would get any views, really. Do I actually pay attention to week 17 on drafters? I've drafted a few. I only look at a DK and underdog. You don't have to, but it's like a pure tiebreaker. On underdog, I think it should be a priority. For drafters, I think it's just like, hey, I view this RB the same as this other RB. Oh, this guy's correlated for week 17 or even week 16. A little bit of a boost. But for 17, I've said anecdotally, like the big thing for me last year was in 65, and drafters heading into the last week ended up finishing 109 overall. I felt like if I had a little bit more correlation there, even though my team was depleted injury-wise at receiver, I think correlation might have given me a shot to bubble up more. So it doesn't matter really, but if it's a tiebreaker for in terms of how you guys how you think these guys are going to do over the course of a year, then break the tiebreaker for the week 17 correlation. That's how I'd view it. Our guy Pat here, one of the ticket winners last week. See if he could repeat today if he hangs out and does it again. QB falling pretty aggressively here. Need to add more receivers, but I think we can be done in RB with one more RB here. And I'm going to take my shot at Khalil Herbert. Though, you know what? Never mind. That's actually not great. Pop Douglas, a PPR slut for sure. Bad team. Let's just get some receivers in here. We got to get more volume at receiver at this point. We took 5 of the top 90 picks, one of which is DeAndre Hopkins, who we know his true value is late 60s, but the injury has scared people off, knocking him down to the 90s. But we need to get more volume in here at this point. I would like another RB, but I know there are late RBs I can skim who are not much different to me than Khalil Herbert, even Audric Estime. So that's how we're going to approach it. But let's give this team a read to recenter me for the last 5 rounds here, because I have to get this right, because this team is one of the better value rooms I've had on drafters in 2 years of drafting on there. We have Lamar, Trevor Lawrence, and Jared Goff as our QBs. So we went in a little more capital at QB, but the huge value on Goff when we have a Detroit double, it made too much sense. We have Derrick Henry, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson, and Ty Chandler. So one more RB here feels about right. Could live with those 4. They're all guys who have partial roles to full roles, but one more I think would be safer in a 20-round draft. Amon-Ra, Debo, Christian Kirk, Jameson Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, and Pop Douglas here to round out the wide receiver room for now, and Mark Andrews and Luke Musgrave. So we want to add a lot more receiver. I think we want to add one more RB, and I feel like with Musgrave, I could add one more tight end and not be mad at it. Let's see what we do with 5 picks left. When I said Hero and Anchor, probably 70, 20, 10 Hero. Okay, sure. Hero RB technically, again, if you use the best ball overlay tool at bestballoverlay.com, of course, works with underdog, does not work with drafters. So keep that in mind. You get $10 off. Use promo code SPLASH for that as well. On that tool, it says like any RB and even the 7th round is still technically Hero RB. So your definition of Hero RB can vary a little bit. To me, if you don't take an RB in the first 6 rounds, you're a 0 RB team. But I think technically the definition has moved because of how ADPs have moved this year with RBs obviously coming down. And stay tuned here. Giveaway coming at the end. So if you're not a Drafters member, make sure you are signed up to Drafters. Use promo code SPLASH on there to get a $100 deposit match immediately. The best deposit match straight up. You're going to find the best ball biz right now. So go ahead, promo code SPLASH on drafters.com, drafters.com. Giveaway of 2 Drafters Million tickets coming up at the end of the video. I'll be 2 given away. $15 each is the entry fee. And of course, 500K to first place. Determined I'm drafting in right now. All right. Next pick. What do we do? Idle hands, thinking about it. Takes Estime. Never going to argue taking Audric Estime. Tez Walker correlates. Jalen Tolbert, I think, a better pick overall. Tolbert's got a projection on him. Tez Walker does not really have a projection yet on him. And as a tiebreaker, I am going to go to Jalen Tolbert. Just think that right now, him running as wide receiver 2 without CeeDee Lamb, having a good camp, building rapport with Dak Prescott. Obviously, he's going to be down to wide receiver 3 when CeeDee Lamb is back in there, which I do expect to happen. He's going to have a deal at some point before week 1 for sure. For Tolbert, though, to me, he's a bailout when I need somebody with some actual projectable volume. As wide receiver 7 in a room that I don't want to fuck up, I think he's a little bit safer than Tez Walker. So we'll see what we get back. That was a tough call for me, but I think I had to break it in terms of Tolbert. How much am I planning on dropping Hollywood Brown, 20 ADP? I mean, I wouldn't drop him at all because of the fact that he still couldn't probably be able to go week 1 or week 2. At that point, there's really no point in dropping a guy. It's not, a shoulder injury is not one that reoccurs like a hamstring or whatever. But he should fall because of the markets. If I had to guess, he should fall to late 60s, early 70s, maybe around that Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman range. But he would be a good pick there for sure. Had to come on here with some copium. It's got the Hollywood news and Malik Neighbors limping off field. Good thing I draft 10 wide receivers on all my teams. That's also not the move. Don't cover for injury. Like, guys will be okay. especially at this point. You still have another month before the season starts. Like, wouldn't worry about these guys. But I also don't know the Malik Neighbors injury. I have not seen it because it occurred while I've been here on stream. All right, see what we get around the bend here. Also, Drafters retweeted it today, so shouts for Drafters, the site itself, supporting the show. Like that on Tolbert, Ravens picked up Gage, so he might be a tougher road for Tez. I mean, to be clear, Gage is not the same player as Tez at all. Like, Gage hurts more. Honestly, he might be more of a direct backup for what Zay Flowers does. But Gage is not like a deep ball guy. Like, Tez is just going to be go balls. Like, he's going to be, I would say, a Pickensy style receiver would be the good outcome. Bad outcome would be, I don't know, old Jameson Williams, maybe. All right, got a couple rounds left here. Giveaway coming up at the end of the video. Stay tuned. Even if you don't want to listen to me anymore, just mute it. Leave the tab open. Come back when I'm in round 20. And I'll give you guys a hashtag to enter into the chat. Let's see what these next two picks do. Oh, man. Beer on an empty stomach sometimes. I feel like I'm in the Houston 500 right now. My guts just getting moved around. Hayden Hurst goes. What does Quasi do? Come on, Quasi. You don't need Tez Walker, Quasi. You got a cute dog avatar. All right, Tez Walker comes all the way back. There we go. Luke McCaffrey at 197. By the way, I would still make that bet. He could move out wide. That would be your hope for McCaffrey now. Is him passing Zacchaeus and Diami Brown, and I think it's plausible. He's not as fast as those. Honestly, I don't know Diami Brown's RAS offhand. He might be close to as fast as Diami, actually. Your most drafted player is Cade Otton. That's a lot. I got to tell you, I don't necessarily see the reason to do that. I admire the take. Cade Otton's had good camp reports, so I'll give you that. But that's a lot for a guy where you have Mike Evans, you have Godwin, you're adding McMillan. Trey Palmer was good last year. He's going to make a jump in year 2. You're adding Bucky. You got to think about it like a piece of pie. Like, when you add in more guys, we're going to get a piece of that slice of pie. Like, the pie just gets smaller. So, I mean, Cade can hit because of a Liam Cohen offense that should be a little more check downy than what we saw last year with Dave Canales, who is a runner and a downfield attacker when he's not running it. But it's a lot. It's a lot of a tight end. You got to think about it too. Like, the guys in this range, do you really think Cade Otton's projection is so much higher than Noah Fant, than Hunter Henry, than Luke Musgrave, than Conklin? Even if you like him a lot, I think the projection for a year is going to be pretty close to those guys. So as a result, you should try to flatten out your exposure with guys around Cade Otton. But that's, look, anything can hit. I'm never going to tell you I necessarily know more. I take Cade Otton sometimes, but like, the tier is pretty flat here in terms of how I'd view it. And being aware of when there's a flat tier, like, that's the part that you then, control your exposures. Like, I love David Montgomery. I shouldn't have 28% David Montgomery to, 4% Alvin Kamara. It should be like 16 to 20 and 8 to 12. Because like, those guys have pretty similar, full year projections, you would think. It's a lot. It's a lot of tight end. Tight end to me is like QB. Just the stacking is like the whole thing. But hey, you guys got to follow your hearts. Tank Bigsby, I think, makes sense of this build. He was the guy I was thinking of before. 9 yards per carry yesterday. Yards per carry is a counting stat, not an efficiency stat. But Tank here in a Jacksonville build where we have Trevor Lawrence, I am happy to go with that one as RB5 in round 18. And if Justice Hill had come back, I would have been open to him as well. I think, honestly, with where Derrick Henry and Justice Hill are priced, I think you could take both parts of that backfield, even though you run the risk for Justice Hill losing that role to Keaton Mitchell when he's good to go around late October, early November, somewhere in that range. Yeah, 31% Musgrave is tough, or 41% Musgrave is tough. I like Musgrave a lot, but I don't know. A tight end, there's really no bet I would make that highly. The biggest bet I have is like Dalton Schultz at 19%. That's because he's tethered to like a very high scoring offense. You're part of a 3 tight end build. I can live with that more. But yeah, tight end to me, very much like QB. Unless a guy is just straight up mispriced, you got to balance it out. mean, I guess Sidon is my highest exposed tight end, but I think he's mispriced. Need more Houston stacks? Don't we all? Don't we all? Keaton was a beast last year. We'll see how he recovers. He's in the age profile that he should be able to have a full recovery from an ACL. Whether he hits that full recovery this year or not, that's the dice roll for sure. Miles Sanders goes in round 19. Maybe a bet more so on him getting cut at this point. Late tight end. You guys are going to be confused by this one, I think, or have not seen it a lot. Brenton Strange has been pretty good in camp. And I feel like a third tight end here to help me with Musgrave in particular, who I think is going to be a spike week guy, but not consistent every week. I'm going to go Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange has caught some touchdowns in camp. We got a weirdo Jacksonville bet where obviously it's Christian Kirk carrying the most of the water there. But we have Bigsby. We have Strange. I don't know that he's a better pick than Chikakonkwo. He's probably honestly not a better bet than Chikakonkwo. But we'll take a shot. Why not? I think Luke Musgrave and Tez could be zeros most of the season. Not going to be zeros. Luke Musgrave's not going to be a zero. Luke Musgrave is the starter on a good offense. Like Tucker Kraft is not the starter. They might be in a timeshare. Absolutely not the starter. And Musgrave is a downfield weapon. That's been most of the way he was targeted until he went to Green Bay last year, and Jordan Love couldn't, buy enough time in the pocket. Then when he figured out the pressure stuff, we saw Musgrave finally take off in the playoffs. So I don't think Musgrave is going to be a zero. He's going to be like a, 3 to 6 point guy some days. Whenever, you have a lot of receivers there. Whenever Reed goes off, whenever Watson goes off, but he should spike. Fake Adam has just as cold to take as old Adam. I don't think Adam's fake Adam. We just got a lot of Adams here. We got new cool Adam. We got old Adam. And Adam S here is just a different Adam. Poor Adam. We got a lot of Adams, Adam S. I'm sorry. But I like your last initial. It's a good last initial to go with. Our giveaway coming up here in about 5 picks. Stay tuned. We got one more for me coming. RB I'd be okay with. Receiver I'd be okay with. Tight end, I think we're done with 3. I think Luke McCaffrey's gone. Luke McCaffrey went... Where did he go? No, did he not go? He went somewhere. I'm not going to control F it, though. But McCaffrey definitely went. All right. One more pick here. I think this is Parker Washington. Not bad situation for Alexander Madison, by the way, which has been something a lot of people on Twitter have said, and I'm not buying in because he was so untalented last year. But it does seem like Parker Washington is pushing for that second RB role. It's not really a full role. But I'm going to take Parker Washington for our Jacksonville bet here to round it out. So 2 late Jacksonville picks. The final team here, we got Lamar, Trevor Lawrence, and Jared Goff. Not normally a 3 QB build. We got value. Trevor Lawrence got huge value on Jared Goff. It made sense to take them both. We have Derrick Henry, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson, Ty Chandler, Tank Bigsby. Maybe got a little too cozy at RB with the hero Derrick Henry, but obviously if he's hitting at that ADP, he's going to do well for us. And with the Baltimore bet, I do like the Derrick Henry Lamar stack more than you probably should an early QB RB stack. We've got Amon-Ra, Debo, Christian Kirk, Jameson Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Demario Douglas, Jalen Tolbert, Tez Walker, and Parker Washington. So late correlated bets and guys who I think are somewhat projectable in Pop Douglas and Jalen Tolbert. To make up for the fact we went away from receiver basically at pick 91 and didn't go back for a while. And lastly, at tight end, we have Lamar, Luke Musgrave, and Brenton Strange here. Weirdo tight end 3 build, but some more correlation. And I think Musgrave's floor is kind of low. So that's why we go Brenton Strange for the 3rd tight end. And there we go. And I've got an NPC hooked on drafters. Now let's get you guys hooked. Let's go to the giveaway tool. All right, share this tab instead. Here I am. All right, the giveaway. Hashtag. Oh, man. I really didn't have a great... Oh, you know what? Hashtag Houston 500. Hashtag Houston 500 will enter you to win the giveaway here. 2 Drafters Million tickets coming up here. $15 entry fees, $500K to first place. We are collecting comments now. use hashtag Houston500, which is classier than the one Diego just suggested on stream. We're not doing hashtag gangbang. Hashtag Houston500 in chat. I'll give you guys a minute here to get your entries in. Of course, right now the giveaway, 2 entries. So if you don't win the first one, we're going to draw 2 in a row here. Have no fear. And tomorrow we return to the safe shores of Underdog BBM. I'll get my dick kicked in by Pete on stream. But today we're celebrating drafters. And if you enjoyed this stream, if you had some fun today, and especially if you win the giveaway, please make sure you are registered on Drafters and use promo code SPLASH to get a $100 deposit match at drafters.com. I'll give you guys a minute. I'll take a sip of this beer. Get your entries in. Hashtag Houston500. Not hashtag gangbang. Not as Dano is putting in here. No. Hashtag Houston500. Give you guys another 10, 15 seconds. Got 90 people watching live and only 30 entries, guys. So please don't miss out. But I'll count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at this guy counting and now drawing. Who will win? Who can do it? Chunk the... Oh, boy. I feel like we're rigging it. But Chunk the Deuce wins. Shout out Chunk. Chunk, I think I know your username, but leave it in the comments after the video here because that is the way we do things. We got 1 more ticket to give away, guys. So if you got a late hashtag in, don't worry about it. We're drawing. Let's see who gets ticket number 2. Diego. Oh boy, all the reggies winning here. Our new Diego complaining about collusion. Do you want to take your win back, Diego? Because we colluded for you. But Diego and Chunk win. 2 of the guys we like a lot. We've been in Drafters Drafts with here on stream. Diego took it back. There we go. Sorry, Diego. I think it was collusion. Should I draft another one? But there we go. 4 tickets given away today. Shout out to Drafters putting on the stream again. I wouldn't be drafting here on a Sunday if we're not courtesy of Drafters. So if you enjoyed this content, you want to draft on Drafters, build a sick team like I just did, go to drafters.com. Use the promo code SPLASH on there. $100 deposit match. That's a full match. Of course, the big benefits, full point PPR, no pods, no playoff pods, just 17 weeks total scoring. So the luck component gets drawn out a little bit more as it's just about the amount of points you put up in 17 weeks. So check it out, drafters.com. Of course, I'll be doing these drafts on Saturdays, and I think just I'm going to keep it Saturdays and Sundays moving forward. 7 days a week down the home stretch. We're feeling okay. Other things to promote, probably you want sports betting data, probably.com. Promo code SPLASH on there. Of course, best ball overlay tool if you want data on your screen when drafting BBM drafts. bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH. And the big one, like this video and subscribe. I think it was a lot of fun today. I hope it was. It was fun for me. Hope you guys had a good time. You got to see my sweet legs here on stream. Got to see all my 6'1" stream. So please hit the like button and subscribe. New drafts every Monday to Saturday. Actually, now I guess every day. Let's just say new drafts every day at 11 a.m. down the home stretch. So that is the promise here. Back to the world of BBM tomorrow, but drafters on the weekends has been a lot of fun. So please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. I'll be back on Monday with more, guys. So I'll be back tomorrow with more. So I'll see you guys then. Enjoy your weekends. Some football coming up at 1 o'clock. And enjoy your days. And, of course, good luck. Bye-bye.